There is an art to putting together the perfect case. And while things may never be perfect, we must always pursue perfection to get as close to perfect as we can get on each and every one of our cases. And that really means taking the time, one, to find out what is our best liability case? What are the rules of the industry? Why would a company do the things that led to this tragedy? And how can we prove that they broke those rules? The second part is, what is the effect on our clients' lives? That means really getting in there, digging deep, and in an injury case, learning our clients, seeing what they loved before, how this incident has changed them, and in a death case, learning who was this wonderful person that was taken from us. To prove the loss, you have to prove the value, prove the life, and that takes work, but it's worth it when you put together that perfect case. So I want to start with the liability part. It's not enough to just get the police report and say, look, the trucking company's at fault, they rear-ended somebody. You need to dig deep and go into the why. Why did this happen? And every now and then it is just a good company that has an employee make a mistake, and we have to keep our minds open to that possibility. But more often than not, when you have a tragedy occur, it's because somebody at a higher level in the company made a bad decision. They chose not to train their drivers. They chose to push their drivers to drive more hours than it's safe to drive. And when we dig deep and keep digging, that's where we find the gold that makes a regular case into that monster case that we're all looking for. To do that, first of all, you have to really learn the industry of the defendant that you're suing. And that's why I think specialization is so important. That's why I chose to specialize in trucking law. Understanding, what is the conditions, what are the motivations in the industry that would push someone to drive too many hours, that would push someone to skimp on safety training or skimp on maintenance. To understand when we go and do what's called the 5 whys or root cause analysis, like why did this happen? Why did this happen? What was the reason for that? To find the true cause, which often, like I said, is a big corporate decision where they decided to put profits over people, save money, even though they're exposing people to risk and just hoping nothing bad happened. So that's one half of a case, is finding that liability part. The other half is, what are the damages? What is the effect? And it's so easy, first of all, it's not just gathering the plaintiff's medical records and saying, well, no, this is an operated back case, or this is a herniated disc case. It's learning, who is this person? In an injury case, we look at 3 things. What did they love to do before? What are they left with now? And what's the hope for the future? What is it the jury can do to make the world a little better? You meet their friends, you meet their family members, and you talk to them about life before. Tell me some stories, because that's where you're going to get the gold you're going to have in trial. Then we have to go into, what are they left with now? So what are the things they used to love to do or used to need to do for work? And more importantly, what is it that they have to do differently? Or they have to make a choice between, I can do this, like I can go pick up my child, but it's going to hurt. And now they're left with a choice of, do I want to feel like a bad parent, or do I want to have back pain and have to lay in bed the rest of the afternoon? Those are the kind of things that we have to learn. But the third thing is that, the jurors want to do something good. And so you have to find some motivation. What is it that if they allow a big damage award, how is that going to make the person's life better? So how can money help? What is the hope for the future? And so spending time with the client and with their doctors and with other people in their lives to find out, okay, they used to love to do something. They can't do it the same anymore. Is there a way we can modify the house, get them other equipment? They used to love to travel, but they can't do road trips anymore. And, frankly, sitting coach is going to really hurt their back. So maybe, it sounds extravagant, but maybe they need to have first-class plane tickets because that's the only way they can get there and not be in terrible pain. Finding out how money can help and what's the hope for the future. And then we have to put it all together. So how do we create a winning story that's going to motivate a jury to do the right thing? Which is starting with a story of what the defendant did wrong, what their bad choices were, and then in the client's life, what the consequences of those choices are. And when you put all that together, that's when you get this beautiful case that really is a work of art. And it's so much more satisfying than just getting the police report and the medical records and trying to see what the insurance company is going to offer you.